No secret you guys have been on a good run of form here, unbeaten 11 on the last 12. Tulsa, obviously, that team that did beat you on that run. And as the series with them shifts to Louisville, what have been the concentrations this week to try and bounce back against them?
Yeah, I think first and foremost we're excited to be here at home and play them on a much bigger field. I think that's certainly something that is beneficial for us. Playing in our environment with our fans, we're looking forward to that. From a tactical standpoint, we've continued to focus on dealing with the transition. That's where they've hit us quite a few times the last couple games. And then obviously continuing to improve our set pieces. I think we had 19 in the last game. Obviously get one goal off of it, but I felt we could have been a little bit better there. Tulsa's a good set piece team. But I think there's an area that we can exploit. So we're looking forward to hopefully continuing to perform well and continuing this run. It's important that if we want to achieve our goals, these games are key.
There was that period, maybe late June, early July, where you said you all were giving up too many goals, and now it seems like it's just been one goal a game, no goals a game. Does that coincide with what Tulsa was doing to you guys in the more wide open games, or they just pose a different sort?
I think, to be honest, we finally were able to start working through some different ideas with regard to how we want to defensively handle some of these situations. And we had a tough schedule there in that from a training standpoint, we weren't really able to try to execute some ideas. So we've certainly had time over the last few weeks to be able to do that. I think the guys have implemented the ideas in an excellent way. But we have to continue. We know that we have to continue to be responsible with the ball. I think that's certainly an area we've improved over these last few weeks, and if we do that, I'm confident in the group.
I mean, the way the division format works, you see a lot of teams multiple times. The fact that they did beat you last time, does that motivate or sharpen you guys, or is it anything different this week? Is it any different feel?
No, I think these guys understand that they are the team that just that beat us, but more importantly, they're more focused on themselves, right? And so we understand that if we play the way that we know we're capable of, and we execute in the areas we know we need to execute, we'll come away more likely to come away with 3 points than if we don't take care of the ball and we turn it over in bad areas, right? So I think these guys, when we think about our ultimate goals and what we want to achieve, this is a step in the way, and we need to make sure that we're coming away with 3 points.
Looking at some of the attendance numbers, and since Lynn Family Stadium went to 100% capacity, you guys have only dropped points one time. Attendance is best in the league, over 10,000 a game. You've played in front of large crowds before, but from a baseball stadium to a soccer-specific stadium, how much of an edge is that environment?
It's massive. I think we talk a ton, and I know you've heard me say it a ton about not taking for granted what we have here in Louisville, and the fan base. I've said it before. Certainly gives you that extra edge that you need, especially as games start to get later and get tougher. And there's this extra feeling that you get when you're able to play in front of our fans. So we're excited to be home again. The players certainly want to continue to perform in front of our fans, and we understand that we're going to have a lot of road games here coming up, and so we want to take advantage of these opportunities. Anytime that we get to play in our environment, in that beautiful stadium, in front of our fans, the players are going to be ready.
One thing we haven't really talked to you about is the goalkeeper position between Chris and Parker. Parker's been winning that job lately. Is it an open competition? How do you view that? And then when you do play Parker, how does he give you a different role?
Yeah, I think, listen, the both of them understand. They've both had a lot of games now. We evaluate every day in training, and obviously performances in games. Parker's done a good job the last few weeks, but ultimately it's going to be down to how are they performing in matches and then in training as well. Still have a ton of confidence in Chris. There's no doubt about it, but Parker's done a good job since he's come in, and we'll see how that plays out as the season continues to go.
We've talked before about how many players have scored and assisted on goals this season, but why do you think it has been such a diverse attack? Because it seems like a lot of teams will lean on their Cameron Lancaster, lean on somebody. You guys just haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is competition, right? These guys know that there's always someone on their heels that wants to be and that can be starting in front of them. So it creates this culture that we have here, the the players that are on the bench that aren't starting are wanting those players to do well, and when they come in off the bench, they it's up to them to continue to perform. And when you have that competition within the group, it certainly makes my job more difficult, but that's something that I'm really happy about, and so when you talk about the amount of guys that have scored and the different guys that are providing assists, these players continue to impress me and amaze me every single day. And so I'm fortunate to have the depth that we have here and the group that we have. And when they continue to execute the way they are, I expect my job to continue to be difficult in selecting the team.
Last one, as a coach, how often are you looking at the table or paying attention to that at this point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly where we are with regard to our division. I know exactly where we are with regard to the East, and then obviously with the entire league. So these players and myself, we want to finish at the top of the entire league, and so we know that every single match matters, right? And so I've certainly we're now at a point where you want to make sure you're looking at other teams in the East that you might be able to see or that you might be seeing in playoffs, and you're trying to make sure that you're as prepared as you can be for what's to come.